According to a report by OceanConservancy.org, an astounding 560,000 volunteers in 91 countries picked up more than 16 million pounds of trash in the 2014 International Coastal Cleanup. Locally, 112 volunteers collected more than 1,725 pounds of trash from the territory's coastline. This year marks 25 years since the Department of Conservation and Fisheries participated in its first International Coastal Cleanup. The department is inviting you to participate in this year's campaign to turn the tide on trash. Reporting for the Department of Information and Public Relations, I am your host, Information Officer Cherie Smith. Joining me on this program to discuss International Coastal Cleanup activities are Mrs. Jasmine Bannis and Mrs. Grenelvia Farrington from the Conservation and Fisheries Department. Joining the program a little later is local volunteer Mr. Selvin Dawson from the Rotaract Club of Tortola. Mrs. Bannis, Mrs. Farrington, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having us.
Mrs. Bannis, I'll start with you. Can you tell us what is the International Coastal Cleanup and why do we observe it locally?
Yes, I can. The International Coastal Cleanup started in 1986 by Ocean Conservancy, and we started basically to encourage countries all over the world to take part in this important event. So the British Virgin Islands, these Virgin Islands started in 1990. That is 25 years. It's such a privilege to know that we are celebrating 25 years.
So in my introduction, I highlighted some of the things that the local conservation and fisheries did for the International Coastal Cleanup. Can you elaborate on some of the findings that you guys found last year?
Well, our local findings, as usual, plastic bottles. That was the highest. We had over 1,100 plus. Then we had cigarette butts, I must say, topped the third. And I'm really surprised, because glass bottoms was the second, then cigarette butts. And this is the first time that we found so much cigarette butts.
Yeah, so you want to elaborate more on the outcomes, some of the weirdest things you probably found along the coastline?
Well, basically, we don't have much, I wouldn't call it weird things like other countries. We found it, television set broken, and as I said, a lot of bottles, which I was actually surprised of, and cans, but there was nothing really that weird, I would say.
Yeah. And Mrs. Farrington, would you like to discuss some of the ways in which some of these items can be found along the coastline?
Definitely from boaters, beachgoers. They contribute to a lot of coastline trash. In the different events on the beach, the different parties and what have you, we are always encouraging persons who are using the beach to clean up behind of oneself. Be a good environmental steward to your earth, Mother Earth. Definitely along the coastline, because that's our attraction.
And Mrs. Bannis, is there any recommendation would you like to give to beachgoers and boaters?
I will recommend to beachgoers, after you have your party events, please clean up your trash. Do not leave them on the beach. To other boaters, please take your trash to a proper receptacle. This poses a problem on one country. And when you trash the local ocean, this trash would go further than the country you are in. So please clean up your trash.
Earlier you mentioned about the number of cigarette butts collected, yes, the number of broken bottles, the number of plastic bottles. Can you tell us how is this data recorded?
This data is recorded. Ocean Conservancy, thanks to them, they send us data cards. We don't have to print this, we don't have to pay for this. One for the coordinator and one for the volunteers. The volunteers would print write on the form the names of the group and all of the information on the back of the cards. Then the coordinator will transfer that information to the coordinator Ocean Trash Data Farm. In turn, they will send this back to me, and I will look over it, make sure everything is fine before it goes out of the country. Then I will submit these two cards to Ocean Conservancy.
So can you share with us some of the information that is found on the cards?
Some of the information is cigarette butts, food wrappers, which includes candy chips, etc., take-out or take-away containers, plastic, take-out, take-away containers, foam, bottle caps, plastic, bottle caps, metal, lids, plastic, straws, and stirrers. So that is some of the information. As you can see, there's a lot of information in the back of the card.
So can you tell us some of the areas in the territory that you think need the most assistance?
The coastlines.
Okay, so along the coastlines, can you name any specific beach areas or any specific areas now that you think we will need assistance, the most assistance?
The coastline going towards the west, waterfront goes straight down.
Okay, so from Waterfront Drive along, going straight past Duff Bottom, past Seacoast Bay, along that area would need the most assistance. Would need the most assistance. Yes. Okay, and can you tell me some of the areas that you guys regularly clean?
Well, as I said, most of our volunteers, they clean that area we just mentioned.
Okay.
They clean Long Bay Beef Island. Some groups have cleaned Brewers Bay. So it's basically all of the beaches and coastlines that we can reach. As you know, that some of them we cannot reach.
Okay.
And we also had a group from Virgin Gorda last year.
What is the ultimate goal? Why are we collecting the trash? I know you said because it's very important for the environment. It's very important for the marine life. It's very important for health. Just tell us, what is the ultimate goal?
Okay, I will start with the International Coastal Cleanup. That's all over the world. One common day is September the 19th. That is the international day. That is Saturday, September the 19th. People from all over the globe will be coming together, just 3 hours of your time, and clean up for clean, healthy oceans, bringing camaraderie together, sharing a common goal, clean ocean and seas, clean waterways, and our ocean health. Okay,
so you mentioned September the 19th is the international date.
Yes.
I know you guys have some local dates the department is pushing. Would you like to share with that with us at this time?
All local dates are September 17th, that is Thursday, September 17th, to Monday, October 5th.
So anytime during that period, persons are encouraged to come out.
Yes. And internationally now, I realize that people are also having other dates, including the international date, due to the fact that we have inclement weather and a lot of activities going on within countries. So that is why we have other dates.
Okay. Mrs. Farrington, what words of encouragement would you like to give to our first-time participant?
Be very proactive. Get out there with your organizations, whatever type of organization you're in, whether it be church groups, school groups, Girl Guides, Boy Scouts, and have a love for the environment, first of all, because God put us here to protect His earth, and we ought to show that love for it, that genuine love and interest, and also to protecting oneself in the event of you cleaning up the coastline and what have you. You know, just don't go out there. You have to go out there well prepared, as Mrs. Banis mentioned. You know, collecting your data forms. You're going to have someone that's going to be recording this data accurately, because this information have to come back and it has to be analyzed and put together in a well form, in a well manner. And like I said earlier, protecting oneself, have the right gears, going out there with the love and the passion just to get the environment clean, especially along our coastlines.
Yes, and the department keeps stressing the environmental benefits. But can you discuss the environmental benefits and, in turn, the benefits for our tourism product?
Better beaches, better quality of water when you do your water quality checks. The environment will thus bring forth more healthier in persons, because the food that we consume from the ocean have a lot to do with the garbage that's collected, right? So having the coastline clean will foster a better, healthier coast reefs for the fishes to live off of. On an economical for the tourist industry, definitely more money is in our pockets. The tourists will therefore, love to visit our country because, we're pushing cleaner and sustainable beaches and coastlines.
Yes, and bring back good reports.
Yes,
to their family and
definitely,
friends
how they
about-
enjoy vacationing in the Virgin Islands.
Excellent. Is there anything else you would like to add on that, Mrs. Banis?
Mrs. Farrington did excellent, but I would just like to add, is a sense of one being taking care of your environment. Yes, we can clean up the trash, but what happens next? We have to think about ourselves, what we are doing to ourselves. We have to think about the tourists, as she said. Mm-hmm. Yes, and tourists brings money, and we have to have a clean environment. So I'm encouraging volunteers, I'm encouraging the local people or even people coming in to have some national pride and clean up after you're finished. Just find the proper receptacle.
And with the statistics collected, what does the department then do with this information?
Students have come to the department to get information on the coastal cleanup when they're doing research projects. That's one of the most important part of it. Next, policymakers can take the same information and they could come up with ideas on how to better one country.
If you're just tuning in, I am Information Officer Cherie Smith. On this GIS report, I'm speaking with representatives from the Conservation and Fisheries Department about this year's International Coastal Cleanup activities. At this time, we will take a short commercial break, and when we return, we'll hear from a local volunteer, Mr. Selvin Dawson. The government of the Virgin Islands remains committed to stimulating the economy.
I would say my favorite part of working at Marine Max Vacations is the fact that I'm unsupervised. I'm given the ability to show my work ethics to the highest degree. I'm given a chance to actually prove myself.
Mr. Cuffy is very enthusiastic. He's very articulate. He asks the right questions. He's punctual. So far, I'm very pleased with his performance. This gives our young people exposure to opportunities that they may not have had if it weren't for the ministry. Many times positions are advertised and young people may not feel like they're qualified for the positions. This gives them an opportunity to see what's available, gain access to various companies, and in doing so, it gets them a foothold, as it were, into the company so that they can gain knowledge and experience and work their way up from there.
The Ministry of Education and Culture's apprenticeship program is available to young persons between the ages of 18 to 29 who have been registered at the Youth Employment Services and are currently unemployed. To register, visit the Youth Employment Services office on May Street next to the old post office building, or telephone Mr. Albert Whitley at 494-0045 or 541-1981. The program is open to any business or industry partner who is willing to partner with the Ministry of Education and Culture to provide employment to young persons who meet the criteria for selection for a period of 6 months. Interested businesses are invited to contact Mrs. Brenda Letsom-Tai at 468-2151 or email her at brletsom-tai@gov.pg.
For any youth seeking a job, I would definitely say go for it. At the end of the day, you get a job, you get the training, it's things that you can walk away from and it will stick with you for a lifetime.
Welcome back to this GIS report. I am Information Officer Cherie Smith. On this program, we have been speaking with representatives from the Conservation and Fisheries Department about this year's International Coastal Cleanup activities. Joining us is Community Service Director and local volunteer, Mr. Selvin Dawson from the Rotaract Club of Tortola. Mr. Dawson, can you tell us how long have the Rotaract Club of Tortola been participating in the International Coastal Cleanup?
The Rotaract Club of Tortola has been partnering with the International Coastal Cleanup for about 10 years and counting.
Okay, and Mrs. Barnes, at this time, would you like to share with us many of the other organizations who normally partner with the Department of Conservation and Fisheries?
Yes, I do. We have the Lions Club, CYEN. We also have the Seventh Adventist Church Pathfinders. We have the Girl Guides, Brownies, Brigada Flats Schools. We had a group from the St. George's School, and there are a lot of other groups that we have that I really cannot mention right now, the Girls Brigade and many others.
Okay. And Mr. Darcy, you mentioned that your group come out and participate for 10 years strong. Can you share with us why do you think the club come out zealously and participate every year?
Yeah, sure. One of the main reasons the Rotaract Club of Tortola partners with this organization is for our sole purpose that we are community-based and we give back to the community. We help in whatever way we can. And the Rotaract Club of Tortola prides their territory and country and beautifies it. So we assist in any way possible where we can. And the Coastal Cleanup is a perfect example of what we do as an organization.
Okay, and for 10 years, you must have found some weird stuff along the coastline. Would you like to share with us of the weirdest thing that you guys found along the coastline?
From experience, we came across car batteries, some barrels with, I'm not sure if oil was in it at the time, but oil barrels we came across, and other stuff like pads and condoms and stuff.
Oh, that's interesting. What encouragement would you like to give to peers, persons of your age, because I see you're very young, persons of your age not to litter?
We are the up and coming, and for us, we have to represent the territory. This is what we, the children, will look forward to and will have to deal with in the future. And if we continue to litter, there's no territory for us to have. And if we embrace and resolve and preserve our country, then we have something to look forward to and cherish and encourage for people to embrace and experience going forward.
Excellent, and I'm sure some of your club members share those same sentiments. Can you tell us what encouragement would you give to a first-time participant?
A first-time participant, I would give them to the encouragement that come with excitement, come with fun, come, because when we, the Rotaract Club of Tortola, carries out the initiative, we social, we speak, we converse, and it's a good pastime that we clean up and we still have good conversations in the same time. So I would say come out with a good spirit and an open mind to have a good time while cleaning.
As we wrap up this program, is there anything else that you would like to add, Mrs. Banes?
Yes, I will. At this time, I would like to say thanks to all the groups who came out last year to make the 2014 cleanup a special cleanup for us in the territory. There's also a group that I did not mention, was the Filipinos Association of the BVI. I cannot leave them out because they come out in trance. We had in the past a group from Virgin Gorda, and then we have a group in Tortola. And it's like 45 people that's come out and they clean the waterfront and they clean Aniki. And I just mentioned to the Conservation and Fisheries Department group, that is why I had Ms. Chalwell here with me. Awesome group. Thanks to all of y'all.
I would like to thank my guests, representatives from the Conservation and Fisheries Department, Mrs. Jasmine Banes, Mrs. Grenelvia Farrington, and Community Service Director of the Rotaract Club of Tortola, Mr. Selvin Dawson. For more updates from the Department of Conservation and Fisheries about this year's International Coastal Cleanup activities, visit the government's website at bvi.gov.vg or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at BVI Government. I am Information Officer Cherie Smith. Thank you for listening.